And hello, everyone. This is the spoiler section of Predator Badlands, the 5th installment in the gigantic Disney. This has been like the 2nd installment or 3rd installment for Disney.
I mean, attached to Disney, yes, starting from Prey. Sorry, I have to apologize. When we talked about the amount of Predator films, I think I miscounted. Predator 1, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator, Prey, Killer of Killers, Predator Badlands.
Counting that one that they're trying to be funny.
Well, I exclude that one. That was out of the count.
Oh, okay, that was the one.
A piece of shit.
The fight scene in the beginning was very CGI with his brother. Like, I really liked his brother, honestly. And I do like at the end of the movie, he does get 2 more. He gets the invisibility cloak and he gets the shoulder mount. So at least he's got more tools, but I kind of wish he had more tools than that.
The premise of it did feel video game formulaic. You got to start from the beginning, and like we get this opening tutorial of him escaping his evil father, of which killed his bigger brother because his bigger brother tried to protect him, kicking off the plot narrative. But yeah, a lot of the narrative did feel like it could have even worked better if it was a video game adaptation, where we get to be a predator just trying to survive in this planet. It's even like on the borderlines of the style of like Star Wars, the recent games, The Force Awakens or whatever it's called. Not that stupid movie. Like, yeah, it did feel very much like that. You know, establishing new creatures, you got to unlock abilities, unlock new equipment. Like, I'm not saying this film didn't work, but we're gonna go more into the things because now we're in spoiler territory.
Yeah,
the things that for me did not work in this film.
Yeah.
You want to take it off?
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, after escaping his father, thanks to his brother, he crash lands on this planet called Jenna. And it's notoriously a very dangerous planet that even some of the predators avoid because there's a certain creature on them that is unkillable. This level 1 noob predator, Deck, even though he's still a badass, crash lands on this planet and he's out to prove that he's a worthy member of the clan because he's considered the weakest, and that's why his father wanted him killed. So he seeks to kill the most dangerous creature on this planet, which is called the Kalisk. I think it was called the Kalisk. I can't remember. Chapter 2, he comes across his new side quest and sidekick character named Thea, played by Elle Fanning. And up until that point for me, the movie was doing pretty solid. But it was close to 100%. I'm really enjoying this film. Because it was just from the point of view of the Predator. There was barely any dialogue. We get to hear their language. They actually speak language, and we read subtitles and all that. Yeah, Fanning. She comes into it, and the film takes a big turn down that way. She is extremely annoying. And I love the actress Elle Fanning. I really wanted to enjoy her in this film because in the trailers they showed a little bit of her, and what they showed was like, all right, it's kind of cute. She's going to be like this weird buddy kind of duo for the Predator. But what we get in the film is just like it's dialed to 110, and she got really annoying really quick. To the point where it's commented on. It's like they intentionally wrote a character to be annoying. Because the Predator remarks on it, he gets irritated by her at certain points, but she just, because she's a synthetic, she doesn't know how to dumb it down, so she stays that way for like the first half of the film. She was like this bubbly kind of synthetic that asks a billion questions because she's curious about anything.
Yeah.
If that's the case, show me the reason why she is the way she is. Like, if she's programmed to be the way she's meant to be, like in the science division. And since they're not meant to be that bubbly, they're not meant to have that much personality. You know what I mean? They're programmed for a mission. Her sister that we get introduced to, or not really a sister, but Tessa, she's much more straightforward. Her personality is much more what you expect from an android. Her personality made sense. Why was Thea programmed to be that way? Better word, why was she allowed to perform that way? And it just didn't work. I know what they were trying to do, but the comedic sidekick, it just didn't work for me. She honestly, up to a certain point, was the worst part about the film. But then we got introduced to something else that replaced her being the worst part of the film. And you can take it away from there, Josh.
Oh, yeah. So Disney needs to sell more toys, right? So then they needed to make Gollum /ET, mainly ET, and inject him in the movie. He plays some lonely kind of goofy guy that helps him a little bit and just follows him
bit.
around, and he's just annoying. He's making sounds, he's acting like a baby, and it's like, oh, here we go. It's like, dude, that's like an Ice Age thing. This isn't Ice Age.
Ice Age, which apparently is canon because Alien Earth had Ice Age.
That they did it well. They're supposed to, it's supposed to be a kids cartoony Disney film, and it worked. This is Predator, and they're trying to do that, and it's just like, you could say like the director or whoever that he did a good job trying to make the Predator menacing, and I guess he wanted like a juxtaposition of like he's himself with this goofy kid. Really didn't work at all.
It was like they were trying to it was like they're trying to have Kratos from God of War in with Bart Simpson as his sidekick. Well, that's probably even an insult to Bart Simpson, but yeah, it just didn't work.
Yeah,
and Kratos. And I was thinking about what the creature reminded me of after we saw it yesterday. It's like I'm going Star Wars avenue with this creature. It's basically if baby Grogu and Jar Jar Binks had a baby. That's what this thing is. It was just like this annoying, noisy, kiddish thing. Like they could have done it well, but because it's very comical and it has very humanesque kind of appearances, like it can smile and all this stuff, and it imitates the Predator, mimics what he's doing. It's just like, come on, are we really seeing this?
Creating fire out of nothing, basically.
Yeah, how did that happen? He must have just lit it like a match on the ground. Yeah. And I really strongly believe, test screenings for when the film originally got shown to a certain VIP group, they probably reacted poorly to the creature, so they removed it out of most of the film. That's what I believe. The same with like explaining how the Predator looks the way he looks in his eye. He's a little malformed. Like that to me was again in response to people's response to the trailers, and they're trying to like, all right, we'll give them kind of what the fans want, an explanation. Thank heavens and Valhalla that they did remove the creature as much as they did. And because, like I was talking about in the Gauge in the long spoiler, this film got really annoying, but then it managed to like redeem itself just before it got too annoying every time. Just when I thought I was going to reach a threshold of like me really hating this character, the next scene kind of made me forget about it.
Yeah, because
that happens for a lot of the middle act.
Yeah, so he rejects the Grogu thing. He just like leaves it alone, and then he goes and she goes recharge herself, so he's left alone. So it's like, yes, like we actually get some time, and then the monster comes and he's got to fight a monster, and it's just him. So it's like, then it becomes
she's trying to repair herself. Yeah,
so it's like finally get rid of those two for a little bit.
Yeah. And then we learn why the Callisk is so dangerous and so feared is not because it's a really durable creature, it's because it has the ability to literally regenerate itself.
That's so cheap.
Like Wolverine.
That's a cheap way to do it. They could have gone into an intelligent way that it can survive. Because it's a predator, it does things, but no, it just freaking like he just regenerates itself.
Yeah, it was very Wolverine-ish. Like they could have had it just like this rock hard creature that was like extremely durable, like a rock golem. Because they kind of tease that with the baby thing. So, spoiler alert: the baby Jar Jar Binks Grogu thing is in fact the infant child of the Callisk, and you can't really at first you don't really recognize the differences because they kind of look different, but it showcases that the baby infant is extremely durable. Like it literally puts itself into a ball when a giant monster is trying to bite down on the
breaks
predator,
his teeth,
and it breaks its teeth.
Yeah.
Like why couldn't they just keep it like that? This thing you can't penetrate its skin. So what's the logical thing to do? Try and get it from the inside. Which end result, that's kind of what happens. But yeah, the regenerative thing was so Marvel X-Men kind of thing. It was like. But okay. That's the reason why Yutani wants it. They want that material to, as they always say, improving life for the human race. So that's the MacGuffin of the film. The Predator wants to hunt it to get his honor for his clan, while Yutani wants to capture the creature for the bioweapons division. That bloody Weyland-Yutani Corporation, always wanting stuff for their weapons division.
Yeah, that's
Which is where Tessa comes into it. And you go, man.
oh, you led with the Tessa comes back into it.
Right. Yes, well, she is extremely determined to not fail again because she had a biff with the Callus and it tore her whole crew together. And the company's basically saying, fail again and we will decommission you. So her motivation thereby is capture this creature, whatever means necessary. And lucky for her, the Predator just happened to be there, kind of do half the job for her. And manages to distract it enough or subdue it enough for her to freeze it with one of his own grenade ice bombs, which the Predator had left behind because when he crashed on the planet, he ejected from his space pod. A lot of plot conveniences that just happen to happen because they landed in the right spot. We're talking this giant planet, the size of which we don't really get an idea of, but I'd like to think it's bigger than our own moon. But everything happens in this one little point of convenience. Like the
at
Predator
perfect
lands there
timing.
for Thea. Yeah, the Predator lands there for Thea. The space pod lands nearby for Tessa to get the equipment, and then the base camp of operations is just like a day away. It's like everything is right there on this one little area of this giant map. You know what I mean? So it's you can accept it, but a lot of the film relies on plot convenience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to say plot armors, but yeah, definitely a lot of luck and convenience and just extremely. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I swear, in the end of the, because we knew Predator was going to win because it's a Disney film. In the end, he gets strong and he gets his tools, and then he uses it against his father, and he wins. But I kind of wish that his father killed him, and then it triggers like the actual Predator to come out or something. I kind of wish that happened by the end.
I do love the fact one of the things that narratively follows through is everything that the Predator learns on this planet, he eventually uses and implements it by the end of the film. He comes to that self-destructing plant. He uses that to his advantage. He comes across those slugs that explode. He uses that to his advantage. He gives himself like that bison hide that protects him. I do love that character development because he pretty much turns himself primitive from what he once was, and with his now learned abilities, is able to defeat his father because they do a nice little mirror where he basically kills his father in the exact same way the father killed his older brother by dismembering his arm and like getting him on his knees, using his own tech against him, and all that happens to a extent because of the learning experience, right? He in video game knowledge, he leveled up during his side quest on this planet. That all said, it kind of takes out the whole concept of this planet as feeble because we begin the film on their own planet, Yautja Prime. We get to see Yautja Prime for real. Segues onto this planet where he has to learn about himself and develop as a creature, only for him to go back to the planet to face his father. And it makes Jenna, everything that happens on that planet, as admissible because his main plot thread was to get his father back. I wish what they did was have the father chase him onto the planet, like he's hunting him to put an end to him. And the conflict with his father happens on that planet. Instead of him like saying, "Hey, I'm back now. I've learnt a few things. Let's fight." It would have it would have made everything that happens on Jenna a lot more meaningful instead of a hollow experience because it does literally make everything that happened on that planet feel like a side mission as opposed to the main mission.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I gotta finish this and collect this in order to gain this to fight the main boss again. It's just like video game formula.
Very much so.
Yeah.
What were we just talking about? No, yeah. Yeah. I had something to say and I completely forgot. Oh, I'm gonna cut this part out. Don't you worry.
Where were we? Let's talk about the final act of the film, I guess.
Okay.
Apart from the father.
The final act of the film. Oh, I thought you were going to say it. Wasn't that the the final
okay.
act of the film? Oh, that's right. Okay, this is where I was. So Predator helps. So how does Predator find the spaceship? He just all of a sudden he's in a spaceship, goes back to his brother. I swear there was a massive cut there. Did you notice that?
It just, well, I mean, Tessa finds the spacecraft, at some point in the film. It's like a big time jump of
It
like
was
a
a big.
deleted scene. It was like, I know where my spaceship is.
So
Because like, if
I've
you
done
did
my
know, why wouldn't you go there first to get all his equipment? Because he starts off with, a minimal amount of weapons, but he's got a whole freaking arsenal in that spaceship thanks to his brother. Um, Side note, one thing I did love, his brother has a collection of skulls. Some of them are, recognizable, like a human skull, a dinosaur skull. But the one in the middle, which is obviously his pride and joy, yes, it actually is a harvest alien from Independence Day. So anybody is anybody. That's a pretty freaking awesome achievement to have a skull of an alien harvester from this Independence Day film. So they're making that species of creature now part of the Alien versus Predator kind of universe. So
little
that's
Easter egg,
pretty
eh?
freaking sweet.
Like video games, they
Mhm.
all have Easter eggs.
Of course, yes. But like to add the creatures from Independence Day and to be able to get a skull from what I believe they say is a queen harvester, that's a hell of an achievement. I don't understand why his brother wasn't a freaking chief by that.
Yeah, true. Well, he kind of was. They
Anyways,
didn't really explain where his rank was, but he was very high ranked, I would say.
seemed up there. Yeah, he was somewhat respected until he decided to protect his brother.
Yeah, then that's a death
Um,
sentence. I understand that.
yeah, the Predator Yautja way is just honor thy hunt. And like what his father says, his weakness needs to be cold, as he says, and to show any sympathy or sensitivity to that is weakness in itself. So his father's motivation is black and white, but it's obvious why he's doing what he does. That is what the Predators are. They are a very violent, arguably barbaric kind of race that biblically only care about the hunt, about climbing your status in the clan and all that. So I wish that was the film we got purely just based on their ideologies. It's sidelined, unfortunately, with a lot of Disney input, a lot of Disney, and it's overall tolerable if you enjoy and love the creature predator. It is tolerable. That saying, it could have been a better film. It was up until a certain point for me. I was gonna give 100%. You know what I mean? The first 20 minutes of the film was freaking tops, and
Yeah.
then yeah, along came Disney. So what can you do? Yeah. So the final act of the film, what's his name? Deck the Predator, the Yautja. He's, I guess, grown to care a bit more. He's a bit more attuned to his sensitivity, um, and is somewhat empathetic now to both the android Thea and the freaking Jar Jar Binks Grogu Golem ET creature. Um, so he stages to rescue Thea from being disassembled or whatever you want to call, and finds his new trophy. It's not the Kalisk anymore because he realizes the connection Kalisk has with the mother. He's going for Tessa's head as his new trophy. Um, is she worthy of that skull?
I don't think
That's at a
so.
certain point. At a certain point in the film, I would say maybe, but then the final act of what we got, no, because they showcase Tessa to be pretty capable. Like she's able to like physically overpower those vines that were like even the Predator was struggling with for a certain
With one
point.
hand or
So
something. Yeah.
with one hand, and then just squashes it with a foot. But then at the very act of the film, she's in a giant like mechanical robot, and she has to use that to fight the Predator. I was like, oh, okay, that's what we're getting. This get away from her, you bitch, kind of reference call.
Yeah, but then we got
Um,
the summon. The summon is the actual one that killed him. He played his Final
Yes,
Fantasy
yes,
VII Yojimba trick.
that's right. Predator gained a new special ability where he can call in a pet,
And
and the
I'll,
Callus comes and pretty much saves the day, destroys the automated machine, eats Tessa, only to find out the one weakness that this Callus can have, which is apparently freeze and blow it up from the inside, and this unkillable creature is now killed. So I was like, oh, that was. I was kind of, even though I didn't really give a crap that much about the Callus thing, I was kind of disappointed that that was the way it went out because it's again in video game trope. The moment you unlock the boss character and it becomes a playable character, it's extremely nerfed.
yeah,
It's now the good guy. It's no longer a threat to the predator or like what he's attempting to kill. So now it's on our side. It's easily killed.
yeah. It's
It's
scaled.
like
It's
typical.
scaled back to your level.
Yes, exactly what happens. But
Oh,
it means nothing because it was such a petty way of doing things because Tessa dies immediately afterwards. Of all people, it gets its skull removed by Jar Jar Binks, Grogu, Smeagol, and right there and again. What should have been like a really cool, yes, they got rid of the bitch was,
yeah. Uh,
cringe.
yeah, underwhelming. And then he went back, fought his dad, and that was a little bit underwhelming too. That whole fight was underwhelming. Sorry to
Well,
everyone.
it was the real plot of the film, right? But
Yeah.
it's literally makes up 20 minutes of the film. I still enjoyed the fight, and I still enjoy the fact that he managed to implement a tactic that his brother couldn't implement against his father, who uses the invisibility cloak. You know what I mean? So it's like it kind of suggests that his time on Jenna made him a better warrior to be able to compete with his father. Because had he just gone back to face his father without the experiences he learned on Jenna, he wouldn't have had the tools or the knowledge to be able to kill his father. He would have joined his brother in death. So, that being said, it makes the side mission somewhat of importance, but at the same time, it makes the final outcome, him just going back to his planet to fight his father, feel like something that should have just been a short film instead of a feature length film with all this bloody Disney input. It felt like if Blade decided to visit Toontown, Looney Tunes. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And his Blade is surrounded by all these cartoon characters. Like, where the hell am I?
Yeah. I feel like we've talked
So
about.
that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think we've talked about pretty much everything. All the little. Well, mostly you did.
This thing's missing, but whatever. Yeah. Look, Predator's like my bread and butter, man. It's something I've grown up with. It's probably my absolute favorite creature lore of all time. So I take every film of the franchise very seriously.
Yes.
Um, so I I've said a lot of discredit to it. The stuff we got with the Predator, with Deck, the Archer, and his whole tribal thing was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Um, it's just the side quest of Disney input, and unfortunately, Ellie Fanny's character that just really killed most of the enjoyment of the film. But
Yeah,
like I
and
said, every time
yeah.
you go,
Yeah, and it really squeezed the film because I feel like they didn't have enough time to fully flesh the father thing and Ellie's final mission. Well, I mean, they spent a lot of time on Ellie's final mission, but the whole story in general was the time was squeezed because of those Looney Tunes characters, and the film wasn't long. It was like an hour and a half, right? So maybe they could have made it longer, but
that in itself makes me feel like they were just trying to stretch it out for feature length. Because I
yeah,
swear to God, this film, it could have been one of the animated short stories that we get in Killer of Killers. It could have been the fourth story that we get in Killer of Killers and have that somehow tied with the other heroes. And I would have enjoyed that if that was like, oh, we get a fourth story, but it's the point of view of the predator instead of the point of view of a human character. Cool. And then have this predator somehow become a co-op team with the other survivors at the end of that. I don't know. That to me would have worked fine instead of having what we got here. Um, that all said, I'd imagine Dan Trenchberg, who seems to be doing nothing but Predator material for the last couple of years, he's going to somehow tie it all together because he's made it as though the characters in Killer of Killers is still in the same timeline with Arnold Schwarzenegger's Predator, with Danny Glover's Predator 2. it's all interconnected, and they've showcased that predators can freeze some of their captives to hunt them like later when they feel like it. So I feel like it's all going to come to a close eventually. She's trying to make his own little Marvel franchise with the Predator, and eventually probably segue Alien into it. Whether or not it's going to land, only time will tell. This one for me only just made it past that line of like it's possible. I like it more than I hate it. So
is that still a 7 out of 10?
Correct.
Yeah.
Still a 7 out of 10. They are themselves their own Sigma Alpha, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because the hunt is basically their purse. You know, like, look, I hunted this thing, I got this trophy, therefore my status in this clan or in my own people rises. You know. So if you don't prove your worth and all that, you will be seen as the weaker and they will kill you like they tried to do with him at the beginning of this film. So if they're going to continue that, I hope so. But they're going to do it in the Disney way.
Yeah.
The very, very Disney way. I guarantee you the plot thread will be, what is this abysmal robot doing in your clan? It's an abomination. We must kill it. And then Jack will be like, no, you cannot kill her. She is my friend. And that will be the adversary catalyst for why predators want to kill him. They're trying to introduce a predator. Honestly, I'm always comparing this to Godzilla because Godzilla was originally meant to be the villain. All right, he's meant to be this walking, talking monster that can destroy cities. The success of Godzilla led to a new opening franchise where they turned Godzilla into the good guy. He became the hero of the story, and he had to face other monsters. I feel what Dan Trenchberg is trying to do with this deck is turn him into the good guy, and he's going to be fighting adversaries up the wazoo. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, far out.
If I like that, I do like it, but I don't like it. The Predators are not meant to be seen as good,
but yeah,
or even villainous. Like it's part of their honor system. To have like a Predator as your hero, I don't know. I think it's going to take away the allure of the creature species. Can you imagine if they made a film where like Freddy Krueger ended up being the good guy? It's no. We get to understand more about Freddy Krueger, why he kills children in their dreams. It's just no. It is an honor to be hunted by a predator.
Yes,
it's an honor because he sees you as a worthy trophy. So it's a weird conundrum of like, you're trying to kill me in a very, very violent, visceral way, but you should be happy. It's an honor. I want your skull. I want you as a trophy.
Yeah, that is fun.
It's a weird conundrum.
There are some funny bits in the movie, like you will help me, and that will be your honor. It's like an honor for them to witness him kill the Kalisk. It's like that should be her main objective.
You will be the first. She's getting her legs back, and she's like, "What does she say?" She's getting her legs back, and he's like, "You can better for walking." And she's like, "Yeah, finally." He's like, "No, for me."
Yeah. So I mean,
can walk better now.
That's good. They get it that the Predator's very he's like an athlete that's completely obsessed, like a Michael Jordan. He's obsessed with the sport. That's him. That's all he thinks about, and it comes across in his character. Yeah, everything has to be good for him because that's what athletes do. Sometimes they need to knock each other down to prop themselves up, but that's like kind of sport and all that. But yeah,
that's a good analogy.
Yeah, so that is anything to add? Besides, it was a pretty decent film, but meh.
Yeah, if you can find an edited version where it's just the Predator doing the Predator things, you'll enjoy it. Because the director really did as much as he could to make it violent without it being violent. There's a lot of violence in it, but because it's never a human that's been dismembered or just like having his head popped off, it's a bunch of random sci-fi creatures and androids. You can get away with the violence being R-rated in a PG-13 film
with yellow blood.
So it is violent with yellow and white and green blood. Yeah, it's like it's still violent, but you're not going to see it violent because again, it's like playing a video game with a bunch of minion characters. they have no emotional impact on you whatsoever because there isn't a single human in this movie. Everything's either an alien creature or an android. So they kind of went the same route as Alien Earth, I suppose. I don't know. That's wrong. At least Alien Earth was still pretty violent at times. I don't know why I even spoke about Alien Earth. Shut the fuck up about Alien Earth.
Yeah, you can watch our review on that if you want, if you haven't already.
Yeah, I'm upset about that. Yeah, I'm sticking with my 7. That's all I have to say with it. Is it rewatchable? Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
With a few scenes that I'll probably skip, unfortunately.
Yeah, like it's a good action film, really.
It is.
For
Absolutely.
kids to teenagers, it's a great action film, and even people that want to switch their brain off.
Yep, for sure. And the Predator does kick ass. He's a runt of the litter, but he still kicks ass, which is, to me, awesome. Like, even the one that's seen as the worst of his clan is still capable of pretty much killing every creature on this planet. So, I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, they didn't power the Predators down. That would have been really not bad if all of a sudden, like, a human can actually do something against him or something. Like that.
Like, it was fighting those synths, and at times the synths were able to, like, dodge him or get a hit on him. But these are synths. Synths are like 10 times stronger than a human, and he was still like dismembering them like nothing. So, they really did not nerf his character at all. They just put him in a shitty position to begin with, and he had to climb out of it. So, yeah. Video game textbook Formula 101.
All right, well, that's our review, ladies and gentlemen, of the spoilers. Yeah, thank you for watching. Click that subscribe button, and you've been gibbonized.
Oh, no.
No.